The Transportation Safety Board released a preliminary report today about the crash of a Delta passenger plane last month at Toronto's Pearson Airport. Everyone on board was evacuated and all 76 passengers and 4 crew members survived. The CBC's Megan Fitzpatrick has the latest.
This brief report, preliminary one, they sort of lay out what happened that day. So saying it was an uneventful flight from Minneapolis to Toronto. It was the first officer that was flying the plane. The captain was beside her monitoring the flight. They were given clearance to approach the runway and proceed with landing the plane. The report lays out details like the speed of the plane as it was landing, the rate of descent, the angle the plane was coming in at, the weather conditions, and some very technical details. And then it says what happened when the plane touched down. There were a sequence of events that included a part of the landing gear, a component of it, fracturing. And then it says the landing gear folded into a retracted position. The wing root fractured between the fuselage and the landing gear. We know that the wing detached from the plane, and that released a cloud of jet fuel, the report says, which then caught on fire. They're saying the exact sequence of those events still to be determined. And as we know, the plane slid down the runway, ended up upside down. The report then getting into the evacuation procedure and what happened as those 80 people on board the plane tried to get out. And the report saying some passengers did have difficulty unbuckling their seatbelts because, again, they were hanging upside down. And the report saying that some of the injuries that were sustained were as a result of people falling to the floor, essentially, which was the ceiling of the plane. The report not finding any failures of the seat belts or the seats themselves, the report says. We do know 21 of the 80 people on board were injured, and 2 of them were seriously injured, according to the report. Now, it doesn't get into the exact details of those injuries sustained by those 2 passengers. But the report does talk about the difficulty of people getting out of the plane because of the damage to the plane, noting that one of the emergency exits essentially wasn't usable because there was so much jet fuel spilled all around it. So a lot of the passengers had to use one of the other exits. Also, take a look at this photo we'll show you here. This is the emergency hatch, essentially, in the cockpit that the pilots had to use to get out of the plane because the door to the cockpit was not usable. It was damaged. And so they had to crawl out of that opening there into the ground, essentially. You see there's not much room there, but the passenger, or the report saying that a passenger helped the 2 pilots get out.
The CBC's Megan Fitzpatrick in Toronto.